All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my New Year's Eve podcast for 2018. I'm DSP. Again, apologies, I am under the weather, and sadly, you're going to hear me clearing my throat and coughing and blowing my nose and doing all kinds of bleh stuff during this podcast. It is what it is. If you're watching this on YouTube, there was already been a part one. You're going to want to go watch that before you watch part two. We talked about my Christmas experience and also my thoughts on Infinity War, the movie. Okay? All right, I'm back. So, segment 2 of the podcast, what's this going to be? This is going to be me talking about 2018. All right, what I want to do is take some time to sit back, talk about this year, how it went, both personally, professionally, let you know a lot of the stuff that behind the scenes I don't often talk about because a lot of people want to know what's going on, how's stuff going, what's going to happen in the future, depending on what happened this year, okay? So, I'm going to talk about a lot of things for the very first time in this segment of the podcast. Now, if you don't care about this, maybe you don't. Maybe you're just someone who, I wanted to hear Phil's opinions on Christmas. I want to hear about what games he's playing in 2019. I don't really care about the behind-the-scenes stuff. Then that's fine. I'm just going to tell you guys right up front, this is not a part that you're going to want to watch. However, I do feel that I have a personal connection with a lot of my viewing audience, and there are people who actually care about me and want to genuinely know how I'm doing, know what's going on behind the scenes. By the way, I have to be careful about what I say here because, as you guys know, one of the major changes I made this year was how much I revealed to you guys, okay? And we'll talk about that in just a moment, all right? Actually, I received a $1 anonymous tip during the break, so thank you very much to whoever that was an anonymous dollar tipper. I appreciate that, all right? So, let's talk, everyone. First of all, let's talk about my personal life and what's been going on behind the scenes this year in regards to myself and Kat and stuff you don't see on streams. All right, let's be very honest about everything going on without revealing too much personal stuff. As you guys know, 2017, that was a rough year for me. A lot of negativity, a lot of nasty stuff happened in my personal life, and I don't even want to dwell on it. But the good news is, in 2017, I met a beautiful woman who we had a lot of similar interests. We seemed to have a lot of similar life experiences, and we really connected. All right. And she was able to spend some time with me over the course of 2017 to the point where we really clicked and wanted to spend more time and move in together and have a life together. And we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do that because of all the hurdles that were there in our way. For example, all of a sudden I found out last year that my accountant had been doing my taxes wrong for 3 years, and I owed over $5,000 in back state taxes, plus a bunch of fees and shit for not doing it right, plus I had to pay a new accountant to fix all that, okay? And you guys, in a lot of ways, helped me out tremendously in that regard. Financially last year, you guys kind of got me out of that hole and helped me out in multiple times. So thank you for that. And because of all that, all right, I was able to say, it looks like I'm okay, at least for the short term, everything's looking good. And Kat was able to move in with me, which was amazing. She actually moved in very early February of 2018. And let me tell you how nice things have been, all right? Just how much things have improved, although it's not without its stresses, which we'll talk about in a moment. But having someone, here, a significant other, who we care about each other, we love each other, we support each other, behind the scenes being able to share responsibilities rather than it just all being on me. She's, a really positive influence on me. She has helped me a lot of times when I'm super stressed to not be stressed. She, basically experiencing a lot of the things out here that I've enjoyed since I moved here 4.5 years ago. Her experiencing them for the first time has been an amazingly positive thing. She came from a place where there wasn't a lot of good positive stuff going on. In fact, it was a lot of very negative stuff. And to be able to move into a more positive environment here, both of us coming from areas where the weather was way worse than it is out here, and now moving into a better climate and stuff like that is really nice, a moderate climate. She's a great cook, I'm not gonna lie. Like, she made a lot of stuff this year for us that she had never made before. A lot of slow cooker recipes, and just other stuff in general, things she baked that, I never had, I'm not even kidding you guys, I never had a tuna casserole until this year. She made me my very first ever tuna casserole, and I love it. I thought it was really good. So many different kinds of cuisine she tried to make. She made curries. She made Mexican style food and bakes and stuff. She's done so much that has just been amazing. Okay. But not only that, super duper, responsible, reliable, helpful, loving, caring, and all the stuff that behind the scenes you need to motivate you to want to keep going during times of diversity, times of stress. She's been there for me. And, at the flip side of that, I've tried to, as much as I can, be there for her. You got to understand, it was very stressful for her to move from one area to another. Big move, big life changes. And, pretty much almost right when she moved here, within a month, she was working right away, had to transfer a job and jump right into a job that was a big life adjustment. And over the course of the year, adjusting for that, for example, when she started working here, she had a job where she opened. She would be, opening early morning hours through like the normal office hours. Then, about 2-3 months ago, she transitioned into night hours. Okay, which is very stressful to try to change your whole schedule around from, going a certain sleep schedule and then changing it completely to flip on its head to be a different kind of schedule. Some people used to always question, what's up with your schedules and all of that, because I would say, oh, I didn't get to spend much time with Kat today or whatever. And they said, well, what do you mean? Well, yeah, when she was opening, what would happen is, so she would be working by the time I woke up, okay? I would stream. She would come home by the end of my first stream. We would have dinner together and maybe like an hour together, okay? Then I'd have to go back and do my second stream. And by the time that I was finishing my second stream around 9 p.m. Pacific time, she was already getting ready for bed because she had to get up early in the morning to work very early hours. And there were some days I was seeing her like an hour, 2 hours a day tops, if that. And most of that time was to make a meal and clean up the house. It wasn't even like we had any kind of significant interaction or whatever. And some streams I would end on the dot at 9 p.m. and people would be like, why are you ending the stream so early? You should go longer. I'm like, guys, this is like a half an hour I get to see my girlfriend before she goes to sleep today. I'd like to go spend that time with her. You know what I mean? Now, the thing is that her new schedule, excuse me, boy, my throat is killing me, of course, I'm sick. Her new schedule isn't without its stresses. Now she gets to sleep in, okay, which is good, but she has to work very late hours. Some nights she's out till 11:30 midnight working and gets home around midnight-ish. And some people say, Phil, why are you up at 3 in the morning? Well, because Kat got home at midnight and her schedule is different. Now she's hungry. I make her something to eat. We watch something on TV, relax. And I'm not going to bed between 2 and 3 a.m. is when she's getting tired. So I'm up till 2, 3 a.m. every night because I want to spend time with her. You know what I mean? Like, sure, she could come in at midnight and I go right to sleep and I never get to see her. So, I'm trying to adjust my schedule to be in line with hers now so we can spend more time together. And, the good news is she got a lot of hours in and everything around the holidays, but it's also very stressful when you're working a night job like that and everything. And I get it. So basically this year has kind of been a year of adjustment, a year of transition, a year of not only getting used to living in a new state and Kat living here with me and us sharing responsibilities, us sharing things like the car and everything, but also getting in line with a job that was more consistent, work hours that were more consistent. The good thing is now her job hours do seem consistent, and even though we don't definitively know every day what week she's going to have off, at least we know, in general, we'll have one whole day a week that we can spend together. So it's good. It's a good thing. And it's been a lot of work and a lot of stress and always, oh my God. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to see what you're saying in stream chat. My laptop is crapping out completely and not working here. Piece of garbage. Okay, there, more messages. There we go. Finally got it to work. Yeah, it's stressful and, any kind of a life change like that is going to be stressful. But it's been good. It's been a positive thing. And, she's turned me on to a lot of stuff that previously I didn't know about. I've turned her on to a lot of stuff that she didn't know about. You know what I mean? Like, we really are gelling and things are going really well. All right. And I'm not going to get into, long-term plans. Sometimes I've alluded to things over the year, like some people said, Phil, you think that you'd ever want to get married? You think you'd ever have kids? You think you'd ever blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into massive detail, and I'm not going to get into that level of stuff on today's podcast. And the bottom line is, it's really nobody's business. If and when we ever decided to make personal decisions like that behind the scenes, that's our business. And if we ever decided to share that with you guys, great. But at the same time, imagine if we ever tried to share something like that, and then immediately that negative and nasty element of people would try to jump down our throats and get details. What's going on? What's being spent? Who's doing what? That's how they are. They're so into my shit that if I ever were to talk publicly about private stuff like that, it would be like destroy. You know what I mean? They would literally try to do fucked up stuff. Okay? And I'm not going to allow them to do that stuff. So that kind of personal stuff behind the scenes will stay behind the scenes until we ever decide if there's a time or place where we would like to reveal that kind of personal information, which we may. But at this point, basically the less is more. And this has been the philosophy personally with my personal life. In 2018, this has been a major change. And listen, I'm well aware a lot of you are longtime viewers and fans of mine, right? And I understand that a lot of you want more information. You like to hear about personal things going on in my life. I feel like a celebration. Wow, when something positive happens with Phil, it's a celebration and we're all happy for him, right? But when sadly, there aren't normal people out there who follow me and they will take that stuff and I give them a tiny little tidbit and they'll do just dumb, stupid shit. Like, already there's people hypothesizing that all the things I've told you over the past few months are bullshit. I don't owe any taxes. I don't have any problems with finances or money. I'm trying to save money to go on a vacation, to do some kind of elaborate. Some people think I've bought stuff for the house and shit. That's nuts. Phil has crazy expensive stuff in his house. I've heard crazy things that Kat is a millionaire. Kat has a car of her own, and I have a car, and now we have 2 cars, and all like crazy shit. It's all based off of bullshit. It's based off of these people deep diving into bullshit information on the internet that's not correct and trying to make things out of it that is just completely fabricated. They'll take a little tidbit of misinformation on the internet and turn it into something that it's not on purpose to try to create drama and try to create things that look bad for us to hurt our lives, right? So why in the holy hell would I share actual personal information about stuff going on behind the scenes? In 2018, this has been the year of my life since I've been a YouTuber. I started in 2008. 2018 has been a year where, for the most part, I've kept everything under wraps. All right? You didn't really learn much about the private stuff that we were doing. Every once in a while, I'd share a little tidbit on a pre-stream or answer a cheer or whatever and let you know a little bit about something that happened to answer a question. But I've kept most of the stuff that we do under wraps on purpose because we knew that if we exposed things, that people would blow it out of proportion and make us look like this is evil Phil, evil Cat, stupid nonsense, bullshit, right? And if you haven't noticed, and we're going to talk about this on the professional side of things, okay, that I personally, on the professional side of things, don't have Kat as part of the ongoing content that I do. She doesn't show up in my stream. She doesn't show up in my gameplay on purpose. Because when you cross that line, people just think, oh, now it's just fair game. Because she showed up in one video, it's fair game to try to fucking completely slander and dig up shit from the past that has nothing to possibly do with our current lives together now, and just saying stuff that's completely falsified in order to try to hurt us. And that's why you haven't seen that in the professional side of things, that Kat doesn't want to be a part of it. She wants to be out of my stuff. She does not want to be a part of a stream where, because she looks a certain way, or because she said something in a certain way, because, she didn't react in a certain way, or I'll say another thing, completely unfair comparisons about stuff, content that I put out in the past, that now, oh, this means this, and this means that, and this, it's just stupid kiddie shit. It's what you do when you literally have no fucking life. And so you have to micro-analyze every little thing to cause drama for yourself because your life's so fucking boring. There's nothing to talk about in regards to your own life, so you have to make drama out of someone else's. And we don't want that, which is why this year you have not seen it. You have not seen a lot of the personal stuff. Now, I'll be honest, it was tough. There's a lot of times that things happen I want to share with you. I'll be honest, there's a few things right now that I think would be really cool, positive things I could share with all of you. But undoubtedly, if I did, it would be spun in a negative light anyway. So I can't. And that's it. That's been a big step for me to mature up because for 10 years of my life, I've shared so much with all of you as a viewing audience, and I can't do that anymore. I can't do it anymore because to do it would be giving these certain people with messed up minds the fuel that they need to continue doing what they're doing. Okay? So I just can't do it anymore. I can't, and that's why there's been a big change this year when it comes to my personal stuff, all right? So what I can tell you is this. I have a good personal life right now. If anything, yes, is there stress? Absolutely. But the stress is much more worth it to have the amazing amount of love and really good personal life that I have right now. That's why I keep telling you guys, like, when it comes to my professional life, I really want to keep everything I've got. I want to make enough money to pay my bills and pay my taxes and stay here because things are really good. This is kind of the ideal of what I and Kat have both wanted. We are happy just to stay where we are, have what we have. We're not looking for anything more than what we have. Just stay here and have things go nicely the way that they're going and just have it be that, The problem is, the sad fact is, that everything's being threatened because of a lot of things going on, and it sucks. I don't like having, a life that we just built together over the course of 2018 being threatened by bullshit, which is exactly what it is. It's a bunch of fucking stupid bullshit, and, it's just it's not good to know that even if I work my ass off to the point where I'm getting sick and breaking, that it might not be enough. You know what I mean? And that's why I have to sometimes appeal to you guys for help and just let you know, on Thanksgiving, when I told you guys about my financial troubles with these taxes coming up in 2019, that was a big step because I kept that secret from you guys all year. And, it sucks to have to share that with you. But, I have to tell you those things because I don't know what else to do at this point. Being real, I don't want to lose my house that I worked my ass off for so long. A house that we built our life in this year. And now things are amazing. And, I want to keep that positivity going, right? So, in regards to 2018, personal stuff. 2 thumbs up, good stuff. And we want to keep that personal stuff going in 2019 because it's been so good. Sorry I can't share a lot of it with you because of those negative, mentally challenged people who just want to fuck with me and ruin my life, but we have to keep it how it is, okay? Fair enough? All right. So thank you to Take a Glow and Fall of Adam for cheers. Battle Duck tipped me $1. Says, talking about BS, don't forget to periodically remind Kat that she's just part of your imagination. Of course. Some people, that's what I mean. So, because I don't give information about Kat, she doesn't exist. She's fake. Someone actually told me last week, oh my God. I'm sitting in Kat's office watching her play Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC because I didn't get it. So I'm watching her play it. And I'm about to take a picture of her playing the game. As I'm taking the picture, her screen fades to black during a cutscene. It's loading another cutscene. I take the picture and it goes, takes the picture during the black screen. People start, that's not a real picture. You photoshopped her in and it's obviously a blank screen. She doesn't exist. I'm like, this is actually an ongoing thing. These idiots actually think that she doesn't exist or that she broke up with me. You people are fucking nuts. Like, that's just not logical thinking. It's not. It's insanity. That you would just like fabricate shit like that just to create drama. It's just not normal. That needs treatment. It really does. Like, if that's you, I have this crazy conspiracy theory with my tinfoil hat on that Phil's girlfriend broke up with him. And, go see a doctor. You need that help because it's that fucked up how that kind of thinking is fucked, man. Okay. Okay. All right, let's continue. So now, let's talk about Let's now talk about professional side of stuff, okay? Let's talk about how stuff went this year in regards to streaming and YouTube, which are obviously the 2 focuses. Let's also talk about things like Patreon, Teespring, that kind of stuff, that all was supplementary. And then let's talk about other outside opportunities, okay? Twitch streaming has been great. Twitch streaming in particular is on an up. And I'll be honest, earlier on this year, it was a little bit tougher because if you remember, Twitch changed their terms of service. And when they changed their terms of service, they became a lot more strict about what you can and can't do and what you can and can't say on a Twitch stream. And it was actually challenging for me because I was always kind of the uncensored guy who could say whatever the hell he wanted. I mean, back in the day on YouTube, are you kidding me? The shit I used to say and do. And of course, over the years, I've matured, I've grown up, I've changed, right? And I've become, in my opinion, a much better person, a much better content creator. You don't come to my streams to hear me say some crazy, controversial, off-the-cuff thing to get everyone all riled up about drama. You come to my streams to see kind of a Joe Average guy have fun with the game and give his honest opinions on it and to hang out with me and interact with me and a cool, chill stream chat. As I say every day on my streams, the purpose of my streams now isn't necessarily to put out a fucking controversial, hilarious playthrough, but to just have a chill place to hang out and have fun. And yeah, we'll do fun playthroughs, but there'll be other opportunities to do other kinds of stuff like Minecraft or a battle royal game or a JRPG where it's more about just the atmosphere, being relaxing. You escape from your real life. You come to my stream here to hang out with me on a daily basis and have fun with me. And then, yeah, there's gameplay that comes along with it. It's not just about the gameplay. And that was the big difference is when I used to do YouTube as the focus, it was just the gameplay was the focus and not anything else. So I wouldn't interact. I would play a game like Minecraft and be bored to tears because I wouldn't know what to do and I wouldn't interact with people to find out. You see what I mean? It's definitely been a different kind. It's definitely been a different kind of stream. Recently and just this last year. You know what I mean? We got a bunch of trolls in the stream chat, and this sucks because, we had moderators earlier, and now apparently there's no one here. And I apologize, guys. Anyone who's here to actually enjoy the stream, and we're looking forward to these segments, and now we got a bunch of trolls being negative dicks in the stream chat. I can't moderate while I also do this segment. It's just going to distract me and derail me and get me all off topic. So I apologize for that. I'll keep an eye on it, but, we'll see what happens, okay? My apologies in advance for these people acting like jerks, okay? Okay, here we go. Oh, my God. I don't even know what's going on. Like I told you, my laptop isn't even working right. Anyway. Anyway, continuing on. And by the way, if you ever see, guys, moderators, I see Swaggins is here now. If you ever see a situation where, like, someone's hacking, which could happen, contact Twitch staff, report that person, because you can report directly by writing a log to Twitch staff. Say, I'm a moderator on a channel, and looks like someone hacked or something, because we can't moderate them, and they should take care of that. Okay? Okay. Anyway. So all that being said, everybody, let's now continue on and talk about streaming this year. Sorry that I got distracted there. Streaming this year, in my opinion, is an all-time high. I'm having more fun on daily streams than I've ever had before making content. I'm not even kidding. Like, when I used to do YouTube offline, no streaming, it was more about me having fun playing a game or having fun with, like, Rambo or whoever I was doing co-op with. And it was like, if I'm having fun or if other people are having fun with me, then it makes a fun video that people want to watch on YouTube. When I started live streaming, it was weird because it was like sometimes I would have fun, but I wouldn't be able to see other people watching live having fun. And I think a lot of times what happened was people felt disconnected because Phil's streaming, but he's not interacting with us. He's not paying any attention. And last year, I did adopt a kind of a full-time streamer kind of a deal mentality, but I took a lot of work for me to adjust to it and to basically make it so that I can do streams that are entertaining and fun, and I don't get distracted by drama and negativity, and I try to keep that off the stream so that it's a more chill, relaxing place. And in my opinion, at least, and from the feedback I'm getting from from the feedback I'm getting, it seems to me that it's a good thing. Everyone's telling me the streams are better than ever. I love attending your streams. You know, they're great. And it's a fun play. No matter what you're playing. That's the other thing, too. It used to be, if Phil's not playing a AAA game, that's new. If Phil's not playing Grand Theft Auto or Dark Souls or a fighting game, we don't care. Now it seems like I can do whatever kind of games I want. And there will always be an audience to come by and hang out with me for said games. And even if it's a smaller audience, people are still to come by and they hang out. They're supportive. You know what I mean? And that's an awesome thing. Where it used to always be the concern was if I'm not playing a game that's going to bring in the viewers right away, well, I can't play the game, right? But it was the complete opposite. Like I told you guys, it seems to me, okay, that at least in regards to the streams, everything's good. So in my opinion, streams couldn't be better. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I hope you guys are enjoying what I do now. The variety of content I do, it's not just about main playthroughs anymore. Now we have chill events like Minecraft and Battle Royale. We could do these kind of monthly stream events that are special events that are more interesting than just, say, just doing a normal playthrough. I'm loving all of it. And I seem to be, at least from, again, the feedback you guys are giving me, I'm way more open and receptive to change, to suggestions for change. You know, I've made things that have been dramatic improvements over the course of the year that people are telling me are really good. You see what I mean? So, hopefully, everything is good, okay? Hopefully, the streams stay at the level that they are. Now, I'll be honest, earlier this year, it was actually a problem because I was getting into trouble with Twitch for things that I was saying and doing on stream. You know, their new terms of service being very ambiguous, I'll be honest with all of you. Like, I got in trouble on Twitch for commenting on the physical appearance of someone's avatar who had insulted me on a stream, okay? Someone who came onto my stream and basically said that I was either a liar or a hypocrite or, you know, I was going to blow up on stream, said something negative about me. I don't even, at this point, it was so long ago, I don't even particularly remember what the person said. But I made a comment about how their avatar looked, all right? And that got me into trouble on Twitch. That actually got me a suspension. And it's like, what? Like, to me, that's really stupid. You know what I mean? But I guess people are now so sensitive on the internet that you can't do that stuff. And it's a change, a big change for me, right? But if you notice now, you don't see that kind of stuff on my streams anymore. And in reality, I think it's a better place. I do. I think it's a good change. I think it's a better place because I think a lot of people were like, you know, sometimes Phil would insult other people or, you know, get into this really defensive mode where he would attack and just be very negative and toxic. And we don't like that anymore. You know, that old ranting Phil who would insult and be that. We don't need that, right? We basically want to be a place where we can just be chill and don't have that drama. And with Twitch really enforcing their terms of service the way they did, okay, it changed the way that I put out content. And I stopped letting myself be overcome with the negativity or rage or anger or whatever. During gameplay, of course not. During a fighting game, if I'm angry at the online player or whatever, of course I'm going to rage. But you notice I wasn't saying some of the things that I used to say about people anymore. And I think that's a good thing. I think it makes my streams better overall. And even though some people might say, oh, censorship, you know what? In the long run, that's stuff that maybe didn't add to anything anyway. And it just made people, it off-put certain people. It actually maybe offended certain people. And it's something that I needed to do to grow and change for the better. So in my opinion, I actually think that it makes sense for me to make these positive changes. I actually do think they're positive changes. And even though maybe initially these are things that I was punished for and I ended up losing my ability to stream for a few days or whatever earlier on in the year, I learned from that. And if you guys have noticed, it's been, what, all year since I think March was the last time that anything negative happened. I'm in the clear. You know, Twitch doesn't contact me. They have no problems with anything that I do. So I have adjusted myself to be in line with what Twitch wants as a full-time streamer. That's a great thing, okay? And to be honest, profits-wise, Twitch is now my main source of income, which is what I wanted to do, okay? What I wanted to do is I wanted to make it so that everything else was supplemental and Twitch was my main focus and Twitch was my main source of income. I've done that, which is great. Now, the little bit of the negative here is that I'm still reliant on the other sources of income. I eventually, what I want to do long term is make it so that Any money I make on YouTube or Patreon or Teespring is just icing on the cake, supplemental income. Twitch is the focus, and Twitch is where I make enough money to pay all my bills and pay my taxes and do everything just from Twitch, okay? That's what I want ultimately, and that's why I focus solely on Twitch. You don't see me caring about edited content on YouTube or anything like that anymore, all right? So, that's the goal, the ultimate goal. I'm not there yet. I'm far from it, all right? Let's do a couple shout-outs. Then what I want to do is kind of go over the history of what happened this year with streaming and let you guys know some of the highs and lows that I had, okay? So, Mark Murphy did a 600-bit cheer. That makes him the top cheer of the day. He says, all the best for 2019. I hope it's a good one for you and Kat. Thank you very much, Mark Murphy. Let's get you up on the leaderboard there with that top cheer. 600 bits. And then Iconic Christian cheered and said, let's hope that in 2019 it's a positive year for you, Phil. There's toxic people who will come in and ruin the stream for you, but let's hope that it gets better for you and me and my brother, and so many people will support your content forever. Thank you very much, Iconic Christian, for the cheer. Appreciate that. Nice positive message, right? Okay. Now, in regards to this year, all right, and in regards to, basically, in regards to streaming, there have been highs and lows this year. This year, I saw my best streaming month ever, and I also saw bad streaming months, okay, where I thought I could maintain a certain level of success, and I didn't for whatever reason. What I noticed was that earlier on this year, it was slower because the holidays had ended, but then once the new games started coming out, it actually started picking up. And what I noticed is around April, May, June, those 3 months, things were on a big upward trend. And at that point, keep in mind, I was still with my partnership network on YouTube and everything, and it looked like I was going to start to get positivity. I was going to start to get other opportunities, which we'll talk about later on in this segment. But basically, it looked really good. Everything looked positive and good. And, you know, I was like, wow, this is great. And I'll be honest, during the summer months, it was amazing. Like, during the summer months, there wasn't a lot going on, okay, at all. And during the summer months, I was still playing downtime games that normally wouldn't bring in a lot of viewers, but people were coming and watching, people were contributing, things were great. That's good, because typically what would happen for me as a content creator is during the summer months, there's no new games. That means my viewership's way down, my profit's way down. Now I'm screwed over, and I depend on the last 3-4 months of the year to make up for it. It was kind of the opposite this year. During the summer months, people were coming in and suggesting downtime games like Simpsons Hit and Run and stuff like that. And I was playing them and challenging myself to beat them, okay, which I did. I didn't quit on these games. I played them. I even went back to other games like Persona 3, Scarface. Went back and beat some of these games that previously had beaten my ass. And I went back and beat them, and people loved it. Replaying games like Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, and San Andreas, in modern graphics or whatever. People loved it, and contributions were high. So I was like on cloud 9 this summer. I was like, if we could keep this up, right, things will be going amazingly good. Like, I couldn't complain. Things are going so good. And then in regards to streaming, sadly, what ended up happening, okay, what really ended up happening here, is that we had someone named Tutankhamun who came in and derailed the way that the streams were going because he wanted to be the center of attention. He wanted to come in and drop sub bombs, and he wanted to drop cheer bombs, and he wanted to drop tips, and he wanted, whenever he was on stream, to make the stream all about him. In fact, if he wasn't getting attention for his contributions, he would get upset, and he would start arguing with stream chatters, and he would start arguing with the moderators, and he would start basically getting into trouble. That people would kind of be like, well, I guess we just got to kind of put up with him because he's being so positive and contributing to Phil, all right? Now, I'll be honest with all of you. When Tutankhamun came along, it was kind of like a godsend, and the reason I say that is because without him and his contributions, I might have been completely screwed over financially in 2018, because if you remember, that's when I lost my partnership with Curse on YouTube. That's when my YouTube channel couldn't have ads for a month. Like, there was so much shit that happened on YouTube this year that we'll talk about in a moment, all right, that screwed me over financially, that without Tutankhamun's, contributions, I don't know what would have happened. But the short-term aid that he gave me, it was only about a month and a half, 2 months tops that he was being supportive, ended up long-term hurting me. And you might say, well, why? Well, basically, people who had been coming by during the summer and being supportive of all my content or whatever, as soon as Tutankhamun started coming by and making the streams all about him and himself, people got turned off. Man, I don't want to be on that stream where the whole stream everyone's just talking about this guy dropping sub bombs or whatever. You know what I mean? Or cheering constantly or whatever. We don't want to do that. So it would basically turn it into a negative thing. And that's basically what it was a situation where I lost the ongoing long-term support of certain people in exchange for short-term support from a certain guy who got me through a bad time, but then ended up becoming a toxic influence. Hates my guts, sends me these nasty emails about how he hates me and he wants his money back and shit. And I'm like, I don't know anything about this. I never talked or insulted to the guy directly on a stream. I was not involved in any kind of negativity with the guy whatsoever. All of a sudden he says, I'm a villain, I hate you, I want my money back. It's obvious this guy was plotting to do shit like this from the get-go. He had something wrong with him, probably didn't like me, and thought, oh, I'll trick Phil, I'll make him think I'm really going to be like his savior, and then I'm going to fuck him in the long run. In reality, he screwed himself over because I kept all of it. I mean, I don't know what he thought was going to happen. When you do cheering and subbing on Twitch, it's non-refundable. It doesn't matter what he claims because he claimed he got it all back on his credit card. That's a blatant lie. I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, from my personal experience with credit cards, here's how it works. If you have a credit card charge and you contact your credit card company and you dispute the charge, okay, they're going to ask you, why are you disputing it? Now, you have a few things you can say. You can either say, my card was lost or stolen, in which case you have to document and prove it. You can't just say that and then they write it off, okay? Or you can say, well, I didn't authorize that charge. Somehow they got my information. Or you can say, I didn't agree to pay that. I agreed a certain amount and they overcharged me or whatever. Those are basically the three things you can do, okay? The credit card company then does what's called an investigation. They don't just grant you your money back magically, which is apparently what this Tutankhamun guy is telling everyone they did. They didn't. He's a fucking idiot liar. What they do is they launch an investigation that takes weeks. And what they'll do is they'll actually contact, they contact the retailer or company or whoever the hell that payment's with and get information from them. Well, what was this for? Do you have receipts? Do you have evidence of anything? Okay. I'll give you a perfect example. When I first moved here, I bought a bunch of furniture for the house. The salesman who sold me the furniture lied to me and told me it was going to be a total price for all the furniture. I signed a receipt saying that's what it was. He billed me for it on my credit card. Then 3 months later, I received another bill for another piece of furniture that I had delivered in the meantime, but he had told me I'd already paid for it when in reality I didn't. I contacted my credit card company and said, I don't want to pay it. They did the research and said, well, legitimately, did you accept the furniture? I said, yes, I did, but I never agreed to pay it. They said, well, since you accepted the furniture, you basically have to pay for it. If you don't agree on the price, you got to go argue with that company. So I would have had to go back to the store and basically argue with the store manager that the salesman did a terrible job, probably get the guy fired in order to get my money back for that piece of furniture. So I didn't bother with it at the time. I mean, at that point, it was what? 4.5 years ago. I wasn't going to go get into a giant fucking argument in the middle of a store with no guarantee of any kind of a payback for it, okay? But in general, the credit card company research, we're not going to give you your money back. There's no fraud here. With no evidence, a credit card company will never give you your money back. Now, I'll give you an example of a time when I did get my money back. I'd gone on a trip. It was one of those conventions that I had gone to with John Rambo. And when I was in the airport, I'd use my credit card to swipe and prove my identity to get my boarding pass to print out at the airport. When I got back home from this trip 2 weeks later, there were charges in Florida while I was in Connecticut. So I was at a store in Connecticut buying food, and then the same day, someone in Florida charged to the same card a resort fee because they were at a hotel. Huh? How's that? How could I be in Connecticut and Florida at the same time? So I called my credit card company and said, this obviously isn't me. Okay, that is concrete evidence. We're going to give you your money back. And they gave it to me. Okay? So, Mr. Tutankhamun, all right, is a complete dog-faced liar. Everything he's ever said was dishonest and horseshit. He lied to everyone about everything. He claims he got all his money back. He did not. All that money that he ever put towards anything, whether it was cheering, subbing, or tipping, everyone should have been able to keep at least. In regards to the tips, he tried to charge me back for over $1,000 in tips. I got them all. I went to PayPal. I explained the situation. I said I have hard evidence. I have emails that I've talked with this guy. I can show you stream logs of where he's been. I could show you all this evidence. And they said, we don't even need that. So, we believe you. And I kept the money. So no matter what he says, he's a fucking liar. And the good news is I made out in that situation. But sadly, long term, it screwed me over because here's what happened. For the months of August and September, all right, I've had enough of this guy too, another idiot. Get out of my stream chat. For the months of August and September, okay, this guy came in and was being positive and contributing or whatever, even though he was kind of trying to take over the streams and make it all about him. He was being very, very positive. So he basically went away, turned on me in late September, early October, said he hated my guts and tried to get all his money back. But what happened was, now people were like, well, Phil's got all this money or whatever, and he's good. So they stopped contributing on streams. They stopped turning up to streams. And October, a month when I was playing the most new games of the year in 1 month, a month when I should have, by all logic, more viewers on the streams, probably more contribution, more everything, was the slowest month of 2018. Can you believe that? The slowest month was the busiest month. The month that I streamed more, was playing more new games, spent more money on games than any other month, was the slowest month on Twitch because this guy completely derailed all of my momentum because of what he had done. Okay? So, it sucks. Okay? It absolutely sucks. And I had positive, great momentum going, and because of this one guy who, in the short term, did help me out, but in the long term screwed me over, everything got derailed. All right? Now, what I can tell you is that in November, I did slightly better. This month, December, even outside of the person who was very generous, who we'll talk about in a moment, Emerald 7, who dropped those sub bombs a couple weeks ago. Even outside of him, this month on Twitch has been a great month, okay? Profitable, great. If I had been able to stream this week, this might have ended up being overall the best month of the year on Twitch. The problem is I couldn't tell you that because I didn't stream for a week. So now it's kind of like not the best month because there's no way it could be because I didn't work for a week and it screwed me over in that regard when it came to income. But this month was a good month, okay? So that's good, and what I'm hoping is coming up in January, we're going to have some downtime playthroughs, like I said, either Grand Theft Auto 3 or Dark Souls Remastered, paired in with new games like Ace Combat, paired in with the bigger new games at the end of the month like Resident Evil 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm hoping we can keep that going. Then, of course, February, March, we've got tons of new games, which is we're going to talk about in a future segment on the podcast here about 2019 coming up. So I think 2019 is going to be a great year, and as long as we can keep this stuff going the way it's going now, this month, we should have great momentum and should be good in 2019. The problem is, it really did put a big damper on things in October because that happened, okay? And that being said, financially, that's kind of why I'm in the situation I'm in. I'm going to explain other things like YouTube and other stuff behind the scenes in just a moment. But if I had kept consistently doing as well as I was doing on Twitch every month, I would have been good. But because I had basically a 2-month stagger, October, November, now I'm getting, for this month and next month, I'm getting like way less money than I need to even pay my bills. And, you know, there are a bunch of bills that overdrafted my account this month that now, that was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars that I needed that was gone because of overdraft fees and stuff. Now I don't get paid by Twitch again until the 15th, and I'm screwed again because I don't have the funds because I didn't work for a week. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, you know? Like, I don't know what to do to get this to settle into a situation where I'll be okay, except finally getting to a month where I make enough to cover everything so I don't have this overlap every month where everything gets fucked over, okay? Now, let me talk a little bit about YouTube, because YouTube was really screwed up this year, all right? We started off the year decent. The first few months of the year were terrible with YouTube. I'd say like January, February, March, meh, really bad, slow, not a lot of income, no ads on YouTube. It's par for the course. Every year it's like this. But then it started to pick up again, during the year, keep in mind, I had this partnership with Curse. So I knew I was getting the best advertisements possible because Curse is a network, a partnership network on YouTube that gives you the best ads, basically, okay? I was able to do every kind of advertisement possible, including the non-skippable video ads and stuff that pay out the most on YouTube, and it was benefiting me in a big way. Okay, but that being said, what ended up happening this year on YouTube was awful. First of all, in the month of June, if you guys remember, my channel disappeared for like 3 days. Why? Because YouTube fucked up, and behind the scenes, years ago, YouTube forced every YouTube channel to be also linked to a Google Plus account. Google Plus was YouTube's very sorry attempt to do Facebook. It failed miserably. No one cared about it. No one wanted it. It was absolutely god-awful, but everyone was forced to do it. Okay? So it's a social network no one ever used, and by the way, they're basically closing it, and they're not going to be using it much anymore, if at all. Okay? That being said, DSP Gaming, my YouTube channel, was linked to this fucking account. Well, guess what? For some reason, it identified me uploading legitimate gameplay videos to my channel as spam on the social network account. They suspended the social network account, which for some reason suspended the YouTube channel, despite the fact they're not the fucking same thing. And the YouTube channel basically was like banned temporarily. So it took me over 2.5 days to figure out how to fix this. YouTube had no clue how to fix it. Live on stream every day, I was talking with them with their tech support, trying to figure it out. They didn't know shit from shit. I had to do my own research and figure it out for myself to fix it, which I eventually did. Then I wrote a guide and shared it on Twitter, which, by the way, over 10,000 people read the guide and used it to fix their channels because YouTube fucked up so bad. But of course, YouTube won't talk about that publicly because they never do. They never admit fault. So, after that debacle was cleared up, okay, I get contacted by my partnership network in June, late June, to tell me, basically, we're probably going to have to get rid of your partnership. And you know, it sucks because we like you. We know you as a content creator. We know who you are. We know you've been a content creator for 10 years. We know you don't violate any of YouTube's terms of service. We basically like your content. We like you. There's nothing negative we can say about you. You've been a joy to work with for over the year that you've been partnered with us. However, YouTube now has new policies that they're instituting with partnership networks where they're forcing us to make sure that people we have in our networks don't abuse YouTube's rules, and even to the point where like there's a new system where you have to log that if someone gets a report against them, that you actually, as the network, did the research to make sure they didn't legitimately violate any YouTube's rules or whatever. And if networks didn't do this to do due diligence to make sure that their partners weren't violating YouTube's rules, they would be held accountable. And basically trolls, yes, these same shitheads who constantly try to get me falsely flagged, falsely banned everywhere. I never break any rules, yet they try to get me in trouble everywhere all across the internet. Flagged the shit out of my YouTube videos this year with all false reports. I mean, I can't even imagine what they said. The guy who I talked to from Curse basically said it was a wide variety of bullshit. He's like, every single time we got a flood of reports against you, we looked into it and not a single one was legit. He said, if they were, we would have told you. But it sucks because we're getting floods of reports against your channel that we can't handle the capacity. Like, he was actually telling me, all right? He was actually telling me that, sadly, like in 1 week, there was hundreds of false reports, which one person spent their entire fucking week at Curse researching and saying false, 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 to the point where the management had to meet and say, you know, Phil's done nothing wrong, but there's no way with these new rules that YouTube's now holding us to that we could have the capacity to handle this amount of false reporting against him, and they had to let me go for my partnership, okay? So, this all happening around, you know, behind the scenes, June, July. I lost my partnership in July, okay, with them. YouTube fucks everything up, okay? YouTube fucks everything up completely, all right? And basically makes it so that now I can't have ads on my channel at all. Why? Another mistake on their behalf, just like that mistake with my Google Plus account that had fucked over DSP Gaming. Now there's a mistake behind the scenes, all right, where they had flagged my old AdSense account, which was, and by the way, again, I'm going to say this, guys, don't believe any of the bullshit people say about AdSense and me in the past. The bottom line is, I have a valid AdSense account. I've had a valid AdSense account for over 5+ years. It's perfectly fine to run ads on and put on any YouTube channel I want. There's nothing. It's in good standing with YouTube. It's not in any violation of YouTube's terms of service. It's 100% kosher and fine. Don't believe any of the nonsense that people make up about it. It's fine, okay? But during the year and a half that I was partnered with Curse, YouTube false flagged that account, saying that I had invalid click activity, which was actually impossible because the account wasn't linked to anything. It was Curse's ads that were running on my channel. There was no way that my YouTube channel could have had false click activity against another AdSense account because it wasn't being used. So someone at YouTube was a lazy fuck. I should take that back. Someone at Google was a lazy fuck because this was Google employees who fucked this up, not YouTube. And instead of doing it right, saying, oh, well, this guy's already with a partnership network, so freeze that account because it's not valid or not active, instead flagged it for the wrong reason. And it took me over 3 fucking weeks to get them to unfreeze it. So 3 days, my channel is down in June because YouTube fucked up behind the scenes with Google AdSense. Then I lose my partnership with Curse, which means immediately I'm going to be making less money on YouTube. Then Google fucks up behind the scenes and flags my channel incorrectly and makes it so I can't even get ads for over 3 weeks. So between all that, I lost, I'm not exaggerating, thousands of dollars of money that I needed to pay bills because of all that, all right? And it completely fucked me over. So that's why I'm telling you, with the streaming side of things with Tutankhamun, that was kind of a godsend, because if Tutankhamun hadn't showed up, all right, then basically I wouldn't have been able to make up for that. Basically, all that money, and this is hilarious because this is what people say, the negative people. Well, Phil made so much money in the summer, there's no way he could possibly have any financial problems. Wrong. The money I made in the summer, extra from Tutankhamun, was enough to make up for the fact that I was making no money on YouTube for such an extended period of time. And by the way, I should bring this up, even when the ads came back on YouTube, they're nowhere near as good as they used to be. I was making a certain level of income on YouTube every month, and now it's way less because I'm not with the partnership network anymore. So, and it's gone for good. There's nothing I can do about that. So I made just enough money from Tutankhamun to make up for the month of no ad revenue on YouTube at all, and kind of start to make up for the fact that the ad revenue has been lower ever since this all happened to me in the summer. So, just to recap, 2 fuck-ups from YouTube/Google, and trolls fucking with me. This has nothing to do with the content I was putting out, nothing to do with the quality of streams or videos. It was all people fucking with me, okay? That's fucking frustrating, all right? And that's one of the major reasons why right now, financially, I'm in the situation I'm in, all right? In addition to that, if you guys know, Patreon, right? Patreon has always been a source of income for me, a supportive source of income. Where every month people pledge to my Patreon, and it helps me out because that's additional income for me, and you can earn perks and things via Patreon. Well, last year when I became a full-time streamer like I am now, I listened to your viewer feedback, and you guys told me, don't have Patreon goals anymore. They don't make sense. Instead, what you should do is you should have goals based off of sub count on Twitch. That's what everyone else does on Twitch who's a full-time streamer. Yes, they may have other things that are Patreon related that have nothing to do with their streams, but you should, if you're going to do really, hanker down, okay, and if you're going to do full-time streaming, you got to make everything based off streaming. So I did. Absolutely I did. And I'll be honest, yes, streaming's been up, but Patreon has done this all year. Because basically people on Patreon feel if I'm going to contribute, I should go contribute on stream because I could get a shout out during the stream. I could contribute to have a monthly goal happen, and the support on Patreon is going down. So Twitch is going up, YouTube's going down, Patreon's going down. See, Teespring, honestly, is a non-factor this year. My Teespring store, I barely sold anything. I doubt I sold 50 items all year, and that's not an exaggeration. Probably the best month I had was during the summer when I relaunched one of my lines of product. I probably sold 10 items, but I doubt I sold 50 products this year. I only make about, on average, I think $3 to $7 profit per product. So you're maybe talking, maybe I made a couple $100 this year on Teespring. So it's completely superfluous. If anything, Teespring merch is more of a fan service to you guys who want a nice collectible like 10 years of Darkside Phil to wear because you like my content, and really doesn't help me at all income wise, okay? Now, that's business wise how things are going. Now I got to tell you about some shitty stuff that happened to me financially this year, okay? This really sucks because this is honestly one of the major reasons why things are messed up, okay? Here's why. This year, my debt, which I wanted to pay down, didn't get paid down because of all the shit I just told you about. If I didn't have giant hits to my Patreon, a giant hit to my YouTube income, and if my Twitch income had been going up the way it were, and no one fucked with me, and I had nice opportunities. For example, I had an opportunity earlier this year to have a chair sponsorship. And no, I'm not talking about the chair sponsorship from a company that everyone says was a scam. I'm talking about the legitimate chair sponsorship that I lost overnight because a bunch of trolls attacked the fuck out of me on their social media. And they said, we don't want any association with this guy since he has all these people who follow him around. I'm talking about the fact that I can't do sponsored streams on Twitch anymore because the two that I did, the trolls went after the companies who made those games and spammed the fuck out of them and said, you don't want, Phil's a pedophile and Phil's a racist and Phil's a thief and Phil's this and Phil's that. And those companies, regardless of the fact if they actually believe those people, don't want to be associated with that. If they're going to do a sponsored stream for their game, they want someone who's not going to bring negativity. I don't bring the negativity. These fucking people who false flagged my YouTube channel, who attack my fucking family members and do all this shit, they're the ones doing it. I have nothing to fucking do with it. I just sit here and play games all day. I don't know who these people are or what the fuck their mental problems are. They have done this to me this year, okay? So I actually had a ton of opportunities this year, okay, to do good stuff. Chair sponsorship. I actually had a bunch of other sponsorships I'm not even going to tell you guys from behind the scenes, as well as the sponsored streams that basically all fell through. And that was all money in my pocket I could have easily made that other streamers are making, I can't make because these fuckers do this sick shit to me, okay? So not only did I take a hit when it came to my YouTube, a hit when it came to my Patreon, okay? I couldn't get the sponsorship opportunities that I definitely could have taken advantage of to do well, all right? Basically, financially, the reason why I'm screwed is because I couldn't pay down my debt this year. I was hoping that I could pay down my debt and slowly make it go down, and then eventually I could refinance my house, all right? There's a few things going on right now in the American economy that many of you won't understand, especially if you don't live in the USA. Basically, the economy is fucked again. Even though everyone says it's good, it's not. The Fed, which is the Federal Reserve, this is the governing body that controls a lot of things with the finances of our country, has raised interest rates 3 or more times. I haven't even updated, but I know at least 3 times in the last fucking year. So that means any debt that I have, for example, credit card debt or a loan that may be an adjustable rate loan, all went up. So even though I'm paying down, interest rate goes up, I owe more. And now my payments, I'm not even kidding you, on all my credit card debt this year, last year, 2017, by the end of the year, I had it under control. I could afford all of it on a monthly basis. I was doing my payments. I could afford everything. No problems. I didn't have any overdrafts. Everything was good. Then all of a sudden, 2018 hits. Oh, your credit card payments are doubling. Huh? Why? Oh, because the Fed raised the interest rate 3 times in the last year, so we have to adjust for that, and we expect that they're going to do it again. So all your credit card payments are now doubled. And I'm not trying to be like, exaggerating or like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. I have a lot of credit card debt, and my debts on a monthly basis went from this much of how much I pay a month to this much. So this was hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month that I was using to do things like pay my taxes that I don't have anymore because they doubled my payments because the interest rates went up on everything, okay? It completely fucked me over. The only people who this benefits are people who have a ton of money in savings, which is no one. No one in America has a lot of money in savings besides the fucking rich. Everyone else has gotten fucked over by having interest rates go up. So I got screwed. I got totally screwed. In addition, there were things that I did over the years that I was hoping I wouldn't be in the financial position I'm in right now. So I'll give you an example. Years ago, I racked up my credit cards when I first moved out here to furnish the house. And then, as you guys know, so many things happened over the years with trolling in 2015, the adpocalypse last year. I basically had to keep racking up my fucking credit cards, which I didn't want to do. But what I would do is I would use the credit card that has like the promotional rate of 0% for a year and a half. Then when that expired, I would transfer it to another credit card that had a promotional rate for a year and a half. Well, guess what? In 2018, all the promotional rates ran out. So the credit cards that I was paying 0% interest on now went to 15% interest, and my credit card payment doubled again. So not only did the feds raise the interest rate, all my interest went up again, compounded. So I was at a good level, but because people will not stop fucking with me, all right? They fuck over my opportunities for sponsorship. They fuck over my YouTube channel and my YouTube ad revenue. They try to fuck me on Twitch and get me banned. They try to fuck me every which way possible. I keep losing money, and because of that, I can't keep up with all the obligations that I have, all right? Now, what I was hoping for this year was to be able to refinance my home. And for those who don't know what that means, it means that my house here in Washington is worth more than what I paid for it 4.5 years ago. In fact, it's worth a lot more, okay? I went to an agent. I talked to an agent about this. They gave me an estimate of what my home is worth. And they said, what you need to go do is go home and get us all of this information, okay? And based on this information, we'll tell you if you qualify for the refinance. If I could qualify for the refinance, what they would do is take all these credit card debts and shit that I have that basically make it unable to pay my bills on a monthly basis anymore and put them into the mortgage at a much lower interest rate because I have the value in my house to do it. And all the credit card debt would go away. So immediately my payments would go way down by thousands of dollars a month to help me out. My credit score would go up because credit card debt is absolutely terrible for your credit score. All right. And everything would be going good. All right. But sadly, what ended up happening was I went there and they said, well, you need 2 years of tax returns showing a certain level of income. What I had was 2016 and 2017. If you guys don't know, 2016, I didn't do so well financially. Things actually went down a lot in 2016 financially. 2017, when I started doing full-time streaming, they actually went up. This year, 2018, things continued on the upward trend, like I just told you. So if I could show that for 2 years of increased income, I might qualify for the refinance. The problem is my tax returns won't be done for this year, 2018, until like April of 2019. So after knowing this and showing the agent what I had, they said, sadly, you don't qualify at this point. You know, maybe eventually you will, but at this point, sadly, you don't because you don't have 2 years of showing the level of income you need to qualify for the refinance. Okay. So this sucks. I'm in a financial situation where my Twitch is going up and doing well. Okay. And everything else is down. Patreon, Teespring, and YouTube. And I have no control over any of those. Like, I don't really think I could change the quality of what I put out. How could I get more people to pledge to Patreon when my focus is the streams and the streams are doing good? I can't now clone myself to have someone do patron exclusive projects in order to make things go well on Patreon. You see what I mean? So I'm kind of stuck where I am, and I just need to keep plugging away what I'm doing. Now, some people have said some of the most asinine, stupid shit in 2018, like, why don't you just get another job? Man, people are fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I know some people are just trying to help, but sometimes people are just really fucking stupid. I just explained to everyone, this year I made the most money, streaming that I ever had. Things are on the up. I'm making good money streaming. The problem isn't I'm not making good money. The problem is my debt has actually grown exorbitantly because of interest rates and expiring promotional rates. So if I get another job outside of this and I stream less, I will make less money streaming and make money on a job that will not pay as much as the streaming. So I would make less money. How does that help me? And the answer is it doesn't. It's stupidity. It's the dumbest suggestion you could possibly have. Okay? Now, some people have said, why don't you just sell your house? And it's a combination of reasons why I don't want to do that. The first is because, as I just told you guys, this year I really built an amazingly positive life with Kat here. We love this house. This is all we ever want. We don't want anything more than this. We don't want anything bigger than what we have right now. If we can just keep what we have for the rest of our lives, we'd be fucking happy. I'm not even kidding. We'd be happy. And the fact of the matter is, if I had to sell this house, number one, I don't have the money to do it because I would need money to clean up the house, redo the certain rooms to get it ready, put it on the market, have it sit there. I wouldn't be able to stream as much because if people want to come in for open houses or whatever, right? The house has to be available to be shown. It basically would hinder everything. I would make less money because I wouldn't be able to work as much trying to sell the house, and I would have to somehow find a way to finance to get this house cleaned up so that I could sell it, which I don't have the money for, okay? Number two, I would then have to find a place out here, basically an apartment, where I could do this work. I could get just as good internet as I have here, which I don't know if I'd be able to. I could do this work, this full-time streaming from there. Remember all the problems I had back in Connecticut when I used to do this as a job? And you see what I mean? Like, you see all the internet issues I used to have, and that was when I was a full-time streamer. That was, if the streaming didn't work, oh well, I'll just do videos for YouTube. I can't do that anymore. I have to be streaming every day to make a living. So I have to do it in an apartment complex. You can't do that because it's shared internet from everyone in the apartment complex. I know because I used to do it in Connecticut at the old condo I used to have. And all they'll do is give you excuses and blow smoke up your ass, and they'll never fix it. So I'll end up in an apartment complex where the internet's shoddy and things aren't going to go well, okay? Plus, moving. I mean, you're talking selling all the shit in this house somehow. I don't know where I'm going to have the time or expertise to do that. Moving from one place to another. You're talking months of work, months of suffering, stress, pain for two people here who are already overstressed to the point where we're working, as much as we can to just make ends meet. Now you want me to stop that, to stress myself out more to try to sell the house, to move into a smaller place and think it's going to go smoothly. Ultimately, what would happen is if I were to sell this house, I'd probably be able to pay off a lot of my debt. But the problem would be, guess what? And this is another thing no one wants to talk about. When you sell a house, the United States government considers that sale profit. So even though I may sell this house and make some profit, the government wants taxes on that. So 1/3 of the profit that I would have made selling the house goes to the feds. So now I don't have as much money as you think I'm going to have selling this house. I probably can't pay off all my debt, and I'm not in a good position anymore, okay? So in reality, there's no easy answer to the situation. What I would like to do, this is what I want to do, okay? By the way, please, mods, if you're here, please start banning these people. There's so many negative people in the stream chat basically saying, oh, Phil's a liar, Phil's this. Oh, look, Phil's talking about this on the stream. Even though I said this is one segment of the podcast, these idiots are coming in being negative. Please, mods, take care of this because I can't do it by myself. I can't sit here and talk while doing this, okay? But anyway, the bottom line is, here's what I want to happen. First of all, being very honest with all of you. Right now, because of the help that Emerald 7 gave me with those gifted subs, okay, earlier this month, I'll see some of that income. I'll see that in February. That's going to help a big chunk of the federal taxes that I owe come April, okay? Phew, thank God, because I haven't paid any of them. I haven't had any money to pay them, right? What I'm hoping is that between now and April, I can see significant amount of support coming out of the streams, and maybe I could get a little bit more, we're working on stuff behind the scenes here. Kat's working on stuff. We're doing as much as we possibly can to make as much money as we can to pay these taxes coming up in April. The ideal state would be this, okay? We could pay it all. I pay all the taxes I owe by April. We're good to go in that regard, okay? And then this year, once my tax returns are done, I can go back to, say, this mortgage agent and say, I now have 2 years of tax returns. Hopefully my home value's gone up even more since the last time we talked, last year. And Can we now sit down with these 2 years of tax returns showing you the increased income that I have? Can I qualify for the refinance? All right. Worst case scenario, if they say no, maybe another year. Because the thing is, I've told you guys, I'm on an upward trend. I actually am on an upward trend of income. The problem is the debt I owe is so ginormous that it doesn't matter how much I'm making. I can't pay off the goddamn debt as it is. I need this refinance to happen. Okay. Now, of course, there'll be a million other people saying a million other things. Phil has a condo, in his old condo in Connecticut, he doesn't rent. Just so you guys know, I'm constantly working that stuff. All right, I am. I'm constantly working that stuff behind the scenes. I am. And I just don't talk about it because unless there's good news, why the hell would anyone ever say to me, I just got completely distracted. Why would I tell you guys about stuff I'm working on if it's not going to come out positively, right? I do have a condo in Connecticut I'm stuck with. It's a money pit. That's the condo I lived in from 2009 until 2014 when I moved here. I can't sell it because I got it for a certain amount of money. The mortgage is way up here and the condo's only worth way down here. I don't have $40,000 to pay to the rest of this mortgage so I can sell the condo, and it's a drain on my finances every fucking month. It's terrible. I am working towards possibly being able to maybe rent that out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I'm always working this stuff. Sadly, for 2.5 years, I've been trying and I haven't gotten any positive movement there. The bottom line is over there in Connecticut, the housing market is terrible. Here it's good in Washington. Connecticut, it's awful. It's some of the worst in the entire fucking country. So I can't find anyone reliable to rent it for me and screen people, find people who are reliable, who will actually pay and do all this stuff. I can't find anyone, okay? I can't. So it sucks ass. It sucks total ass that this is happening. And I'm working on it. If I have positive, movement in that regard this year, coming up 2019, I'll let you know. But for now, it is what it is. I'm stuck in the situation I am. I need to get past April and then another year, see how it goes. Can I refinance? If not, again, it's going to be kind of the same hurdle every year until I can refinance. Eventually, I'm going to be able to refinance. It's just a matter of time of the home value going up and my income going up to be able to qualify for it, okay? So that's what I need to do. Worst case scenario would be if I get stuck and I have to sell this place, because it would be massive stress. It would be loss of a place where I've worked my ass off to earn, a life that I've now built for a year with Kat and had a really nice year with, okay, that we don't want to lose. So much stress and just pain and anger of having to leave and sell everything, and also not streaming. I would not be able to stream like I'm doing now. I just wouldn't. These are business hours when I would have to be working with mortgage agents and people coming in to see the house and everything, finding money to somehow redo the house. You see what I mean? Like, it's just not going to happen unless it's a worst case scenario and I'm absolutely forced to do it. That's the last thing I do. But I have to do my best. I have to do my best to stay here, okay? All right. So, all that being said, 2018 was a great year. Content-wise, the streams are better than ever. Sadly, it was the actions of assholes. Again, fucking my YouTube channel over completely. Losing all these. Imagine if I were able to get that chair sponsorship. If I were able to do sponsored streams every week. I get extra money every single week. But it's all taken from me. From these pieces of shit. These fucking pieces of shit. Who all they want to do is ruin my life. Even though I don't know who they are. I've never hurt them. And it's funny because at one point, they would try to justify what they do by saying, well, Phil does this immoral thing and that immoral thing. And then you'll look at the streams this year like, well, Phil doesn't promote negativity on his streams anymore. He stopped insulting people on his streams all the time. He's made all these positive changes. His streams are nice and chill. He doesn't do the drama anymore. So what's your excuse now? And now it's just, I hate Phil, so fuck him. I never want him to be successful. So there never was a justification. It was just nasty people who wanted to hurt me because they knew they could from behind the scenes. And they're just going to keep at it. Keep being the bullies because they know they can get away with being bullies, and there's no way for me to get back at them with recourse. There's just not. Okay? And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it at this point. I wish there was something I could do about it. There's not. So it is what it is. We'll see. What I'm hoping for is the best. I'm hoping that we'll have some generous parties who will step up and contribute and help. I'm hoping that just this month of December, this month of January, I can get through because of what happened in October screwed me over. Now I didn't work for a week and I don't even have money to pay the bills for the next 2 weeks. So I'm hoping I can somehow find a way to get through this. And honestly, I'm hoping that, between now and April, we get past the tax issue and maybe I can refinance this year. Maybe I can finally rent the condo in Connecticut and that'll help a little bit, if not a ton, at least a little bit, to give me something additional that I need help with, because my debts are only going up at this point because the rates keep going. They just raised the interest rate again in the United States. I think it's the 4th time now. In 3 years or something, they've raised the interest rates again, and I'm getting fucked again. Every time I seem to be getting ahead, here comes another outside situation to fuck Phil over that he didn't create. All right, guys, so that's the deal. All right, that's the deal. And now that I got it out of my system, you know what's going on with me. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the positive. And that's the end of this segment of the stream. All right. I do want to say thank you. There's no way I'm reading the 100 cheers that came in during this segment, but I will say thank you to the following people. Vanessa the Goddess did a bunch of cheers. Alucardali. Juggalo John gifted us up to King of Hypocrisy. Ladder Slider, Judicious Echoes. Thanks to all of you guys for your cheers. Okay, I appreciate that. All right. Let's go ahead. Oh, yeah, one final thing, because someone just screamed, change your bill dates. Okay? Because a big thing that's happened is the past 2 months, I've told you guys I had a lot of problems paying my bills because now I no longer get paid by Curse. Curse used to pay me like between the 5th and 10th of every month. So I'd have a big payment coming in every month between the 5th and 10th. I would use that to pay my early month bills and I'd have no problems. Now my first payment every month is the 15th from Twitch and then like the 20th to 25th from YouTube. So all my bills are due at the beginning, but I don't get paid till the middle or end. So I end up overdraft, and it fucks me over. So some people have suggested, why don't you change your bill dates? Some credit card companies, loans will let you do that. So I did look into it. I'd say probably about all my debts, maybe 4 or 5 major ones let me do it, but they all take 2 months to go into effect. So yesterday when I was paying my bills, I was able to change a bunch of that stuff, but it won't go into effect until like March. So it doesn't help me now, it'll help me in March, but it doesn't help me now. So it is what it is. All right. That is it. Thank you for listening. For those who cared about this segment, it's now time for a break. Let's take about a 10-15 minute break. All right. When I come back, the third and final segment, it's going to be game release schedule for 2019, where I talk about all the games I'm interested in playing in 2019. I'm also going to tell you about maybe some personal plans I have for the channel and also personal stuff in 2019. And then, if I'm up to it, we'll do some stream Q&A. Fair enough? All right, everyone. Thank you. Let's take a break. I'll be back with the final segment in just a few minutes. Thanks so far for everyone who's contributed, and I'll see you in a few.